Greetings and welcome back, everyone, to the Angry Chicken for July's Patron Hangout. I'm Garrett Weinzerl, and with me is Willie Dills Gregory. How you doing, Dills?
I'm doing good, man. Apparently, according to somebody on Twitter, my Twitter's gone, but
That's
you
what...
seem to have come to the rescue.
Yeah, I replied to that. He said that your Twitter was deleted, and I'm like, no, it's not.
Nope.
It's still very much there.
Yep.
I know
People
you're
he might have been looking for @Dills or something
maybe,
like that.
or maybe Willie Dills SF, because I make that mistake, so I could totally see
Yeah.
someone else making that mistake.
Which is really annoying that that's my Twitch. And then I found out that because when I created Willie Dills SF on Twitch, it was because it said Willie Dills was taken.
Yeah.
Then at some point I was like, who would have taken this? Let me see if I took this a long time ago. And it turns out I did. So I had to reset the password, and I was able to get that back. But at that point, there was too much momentum under Willie Dills SF to change it, right?
Yeah.
So
No, I feel that, man. I have a last name that nobody can spell, so I just
Sure.
have to get creative. That's why my Twitter is Garrett Art and other random crap. That's why my portfolio is nomoonart.com, because I do actually own garrettweinzerl.com, but no one's ever going to figure out how to spell that.
if you have to stop in the middle of telling somebody where to go to explain how to spell it, that's
Kind of
rough.
annoying, yeah. And even Garrett can be a trouble because everyone spells it
Yeah.
differently. One
And
R.
Jocelyn
one
was
T.
talking about how she was going to change her thing because GIS Gamer. There's a couple issues. One is if you just sound it out, it sounds bad. And then the other thing is we're always what is this? What does this mean?
Yeah, but you know
she
what?
needs to do it quick if she's going to do it. You need to pull that trigger, or else it's going to be too late.
Yeah. But I feel like you understand it from hearing it, though. 3 letters and a word that everyone knows how to spell. It works.
Sure.
It works.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
totally works.
So that's better than having to spell out a really difficult name for sure.
I always thought it was Gamers in something. I know that's not what GIS stands for. I thought it was Gamers in Sound System or
Gamers in-
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, we're already getting calls, man. I had an email ready just in case. People are already calling in. So if you were watching the live stream, if you are a patron, go to patreon.com/TAC right now. It should be the second most recent post with the announcement about today's Hangout. Has the Skype info. If you haven't already added us, make sure you send a request first, then just start calling in. Call as many times as you want. You're not going to mess anything up. We'll add you when we can. So without further ado, Dills, I think we'll get someone in here.
Let's do it.
This guy's got the pi symbol, so I'm going to grab him first because he must be smart.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Hey, how's it going? Hold on, let me mute the stream.
That's all right.
Yes, please do.
All
It's
right.
like a professional podcast setup you got there. Wow.
Oh, I do acoustics, so I always have to
Oh,
have a
nice.
good mic on hand.
Oh, very nice.
Absolutely.
Very, very nice. I remember sharing a drink with you, sir.
Yes, that was a lot of fun.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
So welcome
Wait,
to the,
wait. There's a story to this drink? What happened?
when I went
Where was I?
when I went to Penn State, he came out
Oh,
and
okay.
Pi came out, saw my talk, and then we went and got food afterwards.
Nice.
It was
Yeah.
a good time.
It was a good time. So how you doing, man? What makes you call in today?
Well, I sent in an email a while ago, and I don't think it actually made it onto the show, so I wanted to talk about that. It was
Okay.
it was about the Chinese meta.
Okay.
All right.
Something
So-
I'm totally familiar with, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the Chinese meta is super interesting because with the European meta and the Asian meta, you can just kind of log on to either one of those servers, and so you see a lot of the same people playing the same decks on both servers, especially among the pros. But with the Chinese meta, you have to actually be in China to be allowed to get onto the Chinese server because of all of their laws and rules over there.
Sure.
So they end up having a really different meta from everyone else. Apparently they have, last I heard, they have a much more aggro-oriented meta, and there's a tempo priest deck that's just really popular over there that doesn't have any cards above 4 mana. Completely different than the control priests that you see in the US. So I guess my question is, do you guys know where I could go if I wanted to find out more information about about the Chinese meta and what's going on over there?
That's a tough one, man.
Yeah, I don't actually have an answer for you because a lot of the I see links every now and then, and they're always to sites that are natively in Chinese, and Google Translate just butchers it.
Mm-hmm.
You could do is just try to find Chinese streamers and watch their stream. Like, so Eloise is in China. Tempo Storm Eloise. Well, currently she's in America. She's actually, I think she's streaming with Reynad like right now as we speak. But her normal stream is from China, and I watch that a lot. And I guess I have seen some weird decks over there, but I don't pay enough attention really to know like the ins and outs of those. But I guess that would be the best way I think or that I could come up with is to watch Chinese streamers. Most of them aren't talking in English though, probably, so could be difficult.
Yeah, at the very least though, you would get to see them playing. Hopefully, if they aren't playing the decks that you're seeing or would like to see played, at least if they're playing on the Chinese server, they're probably playing against those kind of decks.
Yeah, totally. There's actually some no, I wouldn't say tempo priest, but there is like a combo-y priest that has made its way over to NA and EU, which is Firebat was playing. He called it Freeze Priest. I have no idea why, but I don't know if you guys have seen this. But it's essentially a combo priest based around Velen, Mind Blast, and just getting like your cards all cheaper with Thoris on, and then just blowing people up with like 28 damage combos. Because if you can get a Velen's down and play both Mind Blast, or like Velen's plus Blood Mage plus double Mind Blast, because it actually applies the spell damage, then it doubles it. So you actually like get 6 then 24, or 6 then 12. So 2 of them is 24. It's interesting.
Yeah, that sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah. I tried making it. I actually want to see if I still have it, because if I do, I'll tweet out the list. But it's an interesting deck for sure, and it actually was doing pretty well. I think he said he got top 10 legend with it last season.
Well, I think Fireback can get top 10 legend with anything, so
probably
just about.
Yeah, but I wish I had an answer for you, man. I wish I had a better answer than trying to find Chinese streams, but it's tough to really find out what the hell's going on in China just in general, right? For us Americans.
I think that's a good. I think it's a good suggestion though, because at the very least, if you can watch the gameplay, the gameplay doesn't really need a translation. You're seeing the plays that they're making, and you're seeing the decks that they're playing against. Even if you can't read the cards, you're going to be able to recognize it hopefully by the art.
Yeah,
that's one of the nice things about Hearthstone for sure, is the cards look the same in pretty much every language. So
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you ever played, Garrett, have you ever played Magic against somebody who uses like foreign cards?
No, can't say I have.
Because I was watching one of the tournaments, and there was a guy who I guess was playing with nothing but cards in different languages and shit. So he's making he had like the same decks as everybody. He had like these specialized cards. And then there's another guy who had like a deck with just cut errors, I guess they call it. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure exactly like what you call it, miscuts or something. You heard of this?
I'm not sure. No.
It's like the borders are like pushed over to the side weirdly and stuff like that.
Oh, so the like purposely defective cards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's something that happens in printing, and you're usually not very happy that it happened.
Yeah. Are we getting a call from Jocelyn? Do I need to click this?
Are we getting a call? We are. That's gonna don't do that, because it'll set everything on fire.
I'm gonna close that.
And I'm just gonna try and find her and invite her to the call, which will not set it on fire.
There we go. Perfect.
Oh, hey, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, but I would go with Dill suggesting Pi. I think that'd be the best way to do it.
All right.
Links in the chat says she crafted Velen for that exact reason.
Crafted Velen.
To do the Velen's combo. Now with Thoris in, the Velen's combo is actually kind of legit. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. Do you have any other points, Pi, before we take another caller?
No, but if I can, I'd like to plug my new stream that I'm going to be starting.
Go for it,
today.
man. Yeah,
absolutely.
So the address is twitch.tv/therationalpi, and I'm going to be streaming a bunch of stuff. I like playing Splatoon and things like that. But as far as Hearthstone things, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 9:30 Eastern, I'm going to be streaming my free-to-play decks on the EU and Asia servers. So I'm basically going to try to see how far I can get without spending any money, even buying like Naxx or Blackrock Mountains. So.
Oh wow,
nice. Awesome. That's very interesting, and I love that, man. Having some kind of idea or like a goal or theme to your stream definitely helps when you're starting out.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun. But thanks for
Awesome.
taking my call.
Oh,
All right,
thanks for
everybody check
supporting
out
the show, man.
his stream.
Yeah, The Rational Pie, twitch.tv. Go. Thanks, Spy. Talk to you again.
Yep.
Hi, Jocelyn.
Hi.
Happy birthday
late.
again.
Thank you. Yeah, I got an email from a friend at like 2:30 this afternoon, and she was like, you have plans tonight, right? I'm like, well, I'm doing a podcast at 8, but, nothing really. And she's like, oh, well, I'm taking you out for dinner, and I'm a terrible friend, and I'm really, really sorry.
Oh, well,
I'm like, okay, cool.
obviously not that terrible of a friend. And
Yeah. It ran long, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
no, don't apologize. We have so many callers that we're officially done with the story because we're bringing the next one in right now.
Perfect.
Oh,
Hello? Oh, that's loud.
hey, can you hear
Oh,
me?
hey,
I can.
there's a bunch of background. It seems to have subsided.
It's we're good.
Yeah.
Okay,
we're
we're okay. Sorry about that.
No, that's
Yeah, no
all right.
worries.
That's all right. How you doing, Zach?
Doing great. Just actually, I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. I've been on the Patreon since it was pretty much started, and really, I don't know, never called in, never really had a chance because of work, and I got home a little early today and figured I'd give it a shot.
Awesome. Well, thanks for supporting us for so long.
Yeah,
Oh,
welcome.
no problem. No problem. No problem.
And I think now, from here on, everyone has to say happy birthday to Jocelyn when they get it.
Oh, hey.
So, there you go.
Yeah, I forgot. Happy birthday. Yeah, happy
Thank you.
birthday, Joss.
This-
Yeah, I apologize about the mic and all
Oh,
that
don't
stuff.
worry about it, man.
I don't actually have an onboard mic. It's the computer's mic, and it's terrible, so I apologize.
Yeah, it's not so bad. It was just really loud at the beginning.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, when I listen to myself on this tomorrow or whenever this goes up, I'm probably going to be like, whoa. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's all right.
So my question, I was really interested to find out, because I hear a lot on the show and on the Reddits and the Twitters and all this junk that everybody wants a solution to the ladder problem, about the problem with people playing aggro so much and it feeling really grindy up towards the top. What I'm interested in is like specifics, because I've put a lot of thought into it too, and I 100% agree that it's really grindy. It has a lot of problems, but all the solutions I come up with end up being either like really not friendly to new players, like removing the bottom 5 ranks to make it start at 20, add more bonus stars, that kind of thing, to where they would end up being matched up with better players earlier, or something that really doesn't solve the bottom half of the ladder, where you just keep bonus stars going on through rank 5, that kind of thing. So I'm trying to think of a creative solution, something. And I mean, I'm not a game designer, obviously. Blizzard's probably a lot better about balancing these kind of things than I am. But I'm just curious if y'all have any ideas that maybe specific ways to balance it, because I hear a lot of people saying that it's a problem. I'm just curious as to what the best solution might be.
It's an interesting question. It's a tough one to answer for sure. I think the first thing that I would suggest if I was talking to Blizzard is I would say make the seasons longer, just to allow for people to not feel like they're in such a rush to get there. If you could take your time and kind of leisurely play the decks you want to play without this pressured time limit on you, that's actually really hard realistically for anybody with a job and a family and social life and all that kind of stuff to reach, then I think you're kind of winning the battle just with that one move. Outside of that, I don't know. Like, they'd have to figure out something to do with the actual star system and maybe change that up. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Jocelyn, you and I talked a little bit about this last night, I think on the after show.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I know we just talked about this.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think you're right.
it wasn't
I
on the
think
show.
after show, yeah.
You mentioned the
I'm
star.
sorry if I'm interrupting, but I'm having a lot of trouble with like lag since I turned the video on. Whoops.
Oh, that's all right.
Well, if you
I don't
want,
know
you
what's
could
going on.
you could take the answer off the air if you want, if that like makes it a little easier for you or something like that.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Yeah,
Or turn video back off.
Yeah, you don't need to have the
Working
video
on
on.
it.
It's fine. Anyway, Jocelyn, you brought up the StarCraft ladder last night, which I think is a good place at least to start, because that does have significantly longer seasons, and the system of having bronze through grandmasters seems to put a little more weight on the MMR, because that's the thing that I find so strange about Hearthstone's ladder system is that they tell us that we have a matchmaking rank in MMR, and that it's matching us with people of a similar skill. But at the same time, we also have this.
It doesn't feel like that.
we also have this 25 to legend super holy shit Grindfest.
Yeah.
So
Even if you have like an MMR at the beginning of the season, when the season resets, you have all players of all skill levels at the same spot. So, I mean, even if you're grouped up against people, like, I mean, I've played pro players the first day, and I'm just like, there is no freaking way that my MMR is anywhere near this person's. But at the same time, like, there's no one else playing the game at the time, or, whatever the case may be, or everyone's the same rank. Like, and it's just, it gets really, really frustrating really, really quickly. So, I don't know. Something needs to be done, and I would like to see them do something like a StarCraft ladder. Or, like I think I said last night, give bonus stars all the way to Legend, or possibly give you like stars based on how big your win streak is. So instead of just like one bonus star each time, as long as you keep your streak going, if you've won 10 games in a row, give you like 5 bonus stars or something like that. Like just different kind of ways to make that first kind of jump up to Legend a little bit quicker, so it doesn't seem so grindy. So that it's a little bit faster, and you don't have to just play aggro all the time just to get through 300 games, because you basically have to play, 10 or 15 games a day to make it to Legends. And that's just, it's like Dill's mentioned, it's too much for anyone who does anything other than play Hearthstone.
Yeah, it's unrealistic.
Yeah,
like, streamers get there, but nobody else really,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. To be honest, I actually hit Legend one time. It was pre-Undertaker nerf, and I just played Hunter the entire time, but it wasn't fun, It was
Yeah.
aggro, and it was so grindy, I've never even tried to do it again. I usually hit about rank 10 to 8 and just call it a day, because anything beyond that's not that much fun. Even when I did, it felt like luck that I hit a 5 or 10 game decent streak that got me up close to Legend, to where I felt motivated to make that final push.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that, like, trying to get to the very top of your sport, your game, your whatever, that shouldn't necessarily be fun. It should be work, it should be hard, and it should be competitive, but you should be held back by your skill or lack thereof. You shouldn't be held back by time, by, like, just straight up, like, I can't grind 300 games. Like, I'm a good player, but I just don't have that time. Like, it should be challenging, but you shouldn't be restricted by the game,
Right.
By the system.
I think the top should be, at this point, not considered just reaching Legend. The top should be like top 100 Legends, right? So reaching that is definitely going to be limited by your skill, and not like this time thing. Because getting to Legend, that's just like, okay, cool. And then there's all these people at like 2,000 Legend, right?
Yeah.
So that's fine, because just like, but the getting there part has turned off a ton of people. And like, I don't even like make a goal anymore. I just play constructed whenever I feel like I just want to do that. And then at some point I naturally end up somewhere around 5 to like somewhere in that range by the end of the season. And that's just from, and that's like 100 and something games. It's like not even that many, And but then to me, it's like, it feels empty, right? It feels kind of hollow. Like, yeah, okay. But I didn't accomplish anything. I just played a little bit, and here I am. And I'd rather feel like, oh, I'm not, or like, Joss was saying with the StarCraft, like, I'm a blank player. I'm a bronze, silver, platinum, whatever you want to call it. I am that level player. Whereas in Hearthstone, I could say, oh, I'm a rank 5 player. That doesn't really mean anything, right? Like, I've gotten to rank 1 before, and I just ran out of time. I've got, it's like, so am I a rank 1 player? I don't know. I can't really say. Like, oh, I'm this.
That's my point. If you have this system where it's more about games played and time spent, then it's the number in the ranking is almost meaningless. You can't compare your rank to somebody else's and actually have a good idea of where you two match up on skill. In
Sure.
StarCraft, you can. In Heroes of the Storm, you kind of can. Their system's borked at the moment too, but they're working on it.
It's also a new system and
Yeah.
whatever. But like League or all those kind of games too. Like people talk about what league are you? Like which actual level do you get to? And then it's a long time before the reset, so you generally get back to that, and then you can set your goal to get to the next highest one the next time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like Blizzard
right now,
doesn't
you
like
have one goal.
Blizzard doesn't like to show you your MMR in any of their games. StarCraft, Heroes, Hearthstone, doesn't matter. And
Have
that's,
they ever said why, like in a StarCraft context or
I'm
anything?
sure they have, and I'm sure I cannot remember the exact quote, and I don't want to misquote them, but I don't remember. But
I mean, I would imagine.
my
it's like
point
less
is
headaches for them to explain it.
yeah, my point is that it's okay if they don't want to show the MMR, if they want to give us a more gamified system. But if you're going to give us a gamified system, at least have it carry some kind of weight or give us some kind of meaningful information. And right now, the Hearthstone ladder system does not, unless you're in Legend and you can actually see a number.
Yeah.
And the only people who really care about getting back to Legends over and over again are the people who are trying to qualify for BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a small pool of people.
Yep.
So, like, we can kind of chuck that out as, like, that's kind of meaningless to the general populace of the game, So, like, that, if that's the only thing that really matters, then that's a crappy ladder system you got there, because everyone else feels left out.
Yeah. And the other thing too is I know they're trying to keep it simple, which is always the argument with Hearthstone. Everything is about simplicity and accessibility, but at some point you need to stop making that excuse and try and add a little bit more depth to the whole experience.
Yeah. I feel like it could even be just as simple and not feel as grindy towards the top. I guess that's my biggest issue. It's not that it's difficult. It should be difficult, like Jocelyn said, but towards the end, it feels like a mess. It's a slog. And when I finally got to Legend, it was a day before the season was about to reset, and I didn't even feel motivated to try to push it. And just bottomed out. So I mean, it would be more fun, I guess, if they gave you an opportunity to make it there within a reasonable time frame, and then test how your skill is compared to other people. But I don't know. I mean, it's such an easy thing for me to say, and I guess that's why I asked the question. Maybe you guys have some better insight onto it than I do. It's so easy to say and so hard to actually find a solution to it. I was just wondering if you guys had an answer.
Well, it's also difficult, I think, because there's not a lot of card games out there currently that even have a ladder system to begin with, right? Like if you think about like Magic, everything is like built around this, like the tournament scene, essentially. There's not like a place you can go and just say, okay, now I'm grinding up some ladder. There's essentially just tournament. How high do you place in the tournaments that you've entered? That are these Wizards sanctioned tournaments. And so we're trying to take like a system that works in other games and apply it to a card game, and it might not be like even right to have just a ladder system. There might be some other thing that actually makes more sense within the context of a card game. And, it's just hard to wrap your head around what exactly that is. So Blizzard definitely got, like, this was a step forward from the original system that was in the game when the game first came out. And we were excited when the stars got added, but I think, now we're a little bit fatigued on the star system and we're ready for something different. So just going to have to wait and see. It's tough to say what the proper answer is.
Yep. Thanks for the question, Zach.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate you guys for having me. Absolutely. And I apologize for all the tech issues on my end. It's been one thing after another, and I have no idea. I missed about half the conversation because as soon as I turned video on, everything went to gibberish. So.
I don't know if you've listened to one of these before.
Appreciate
you are not alone. Thanks, Zach. that just is par for the course for these things.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I mean. Alrighty, got another caller coming in. Can you hear us? I hear a new microphone.
Hello?
Hey.
Hello.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello.
Oh, damn it. I see you guys.
Yeah, we can hear you.
My sound's not working. This is the best call. Waited all day.
Check your Skype setting. Oh wait, he can't.
He can't. Yeah. I mean, you can put your hands up to your mouth all you want, Jocelyn. I don't think it's going to help.
I'm helping.
You got to type it in.
Yep.
Type it in.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Can you hear us yet?
I don't know why it was working. I did the test and everything, I promise.
This is great.
Make sure you haven't you have like a volume on the headset. Oh shit, you can't hear us.
See? It's hard to remember
Yeah,
that.
I know. I'm typing things.
Never gonna be allowed back.
I'm,
Aw.
There's multiple places.
Can you all
where
hear
there's
me?
volume sometimes.
yes. Yes. We can hear you.
It's the worst.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, my volume's up.
I'm gonna drop him and grab someone
We
else.
have him
I'm
called
just
back.
bad at
Yeah. If you could type to him and say, "Hey, try calling back." If I open chat, it will mess up the whole overlay.
We'll try
So-
getting him back. If you see the call back from him, then yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I'll
his
come
name
back.
was Rackz. I've got it in the steel trap of my mind.
I'm going to quickly make a screenshot thing of the freeze priest deck, and I'll pop it into chat for everybody.
Cool.
Hey guys.
Hey, new caller. What's your name?
Hey, this is Andre. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Happy birthday, Jocelyn.
Thank you.
Willie, you and I met at the Folsom Street Foundry about a month back. I was the one who gave you the idea.
This is
about the
correct,
milkshake.
sir. I
Tournament?
remember you. Absolutely. You were. Yeah. This is the guy who he's responsible for coming up to me, giving me this idea that I'm still trying to figure out logistically how to make it all work. But I already said I'm going to do it, so now I got to stick to my guns here.
It'd be kind of fun to try.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I can see two of you, but I can't see Garrett.
That's because
I
I'm
only see
hosting. That's because I'm hosting the stream.
Oh, that's weird.
You'll see him later.
My name's Andre. First time caller. Been listening to you guys for a while. It's got a couple things I want to talk about, but one of the, just so you know, Garrett, I've been doing software for a long time, and I was actually the lead designer in Photoshop back in the 90s.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm talking about that all the time.
Okay,
Just kind of,
that's
that's
insane.
As I told Willie, you know, if you ever want tech support, I charge like $400 an hour. So
Oh, yeah. I'll get.
anytime you want, I'm happy to help you.
I will get right on that.
No, anyway, no, I just wanted to toss out some ideas. I know Blizzard listens to you guys, and I've been playing Blizzard games since forever. I've got, I think since 1995 is when I started playing Warcraft and Orcs and Humans. But I wanted to toss out a couple ideas on the ladder thing. I know it's been coming up a lot. You just had Zack talking about some stuff. I got one idea, and I don't know if it's stupid or not, but, you know, figure we just toss it out, and if Ben or any of the folks on Team 5 are listening, maybe they'll take it. And also, just before I do that though, are you going to be at the or just you, Willie, are going to be at the Blizzard event in Folsom Street Foundry?
I am. Yeah, I am going to be there. I got to get off of work and figure all that stuff out. But Lindsay was kind enough to let me know that I will be on a list, so I can definitely get in because apparently
So
it's kind of a
how do
first
other
come.
of us get on this list?
I don't know if I have that knowledge, but it's apparently it's going to be a first come first serve type of get in for free type of
Okay.
thing.
Well, it looks like
And
it'll probably be pretty heavily attended. So
you know, I don't know though because it's a Wednesday and it's at 2:00. So I feel like getting there around 1-ish, you should be able to get in. And what I will do is I will ask Lindsay if there's any possibilities for any pluses for me. Because I haven't actually confirmed with her and everything. And if I do, I'll let you know.
well, I would like to try to go. I'm going to see if I can get off, but to get there, I have to get there like by noon. So anyway, okay. So
but it should be a good time.
I
So I hope you
did on the ladder. So, being a software guy too, by the way, I think Blizzard is trying to kind of have its cake and eat it too a little bit here. One is that they've got this game on the iPad, the iPhone, and on the desktop. And having designed software and doing software for a living, I can kind of see where they would want to have a code base that's multi-platform and they can do all kinds of stuff. So for example, one of the reasons why they probably don't have like a full-on chat client in Hearthstone is because, you know, you want to keep the game experience the same for both sides, both opponents. And if one person's on an iPhone and the other person's on a desktop, and one person is basically typing all kinds of stuff at the person on the iPhone, well, you know, that's probably not fair to the person playing on the iPhone. So I would take a guess that what they're trying to do is trying to make a game experience and a client that kind of works as consistently as humanly possible across all the different platforms. Having said that, they've obviously built a game that is trying to create a pretty hardcore tournament scene. I'm kind of in Willie's camp about Tavern Brawl doesn't do it for me. I kind of wanted a sandbox mode. I was hoping for more out of that, but at the same time, when you start thinking about it, I can kind of see that trying to do that on an iPhone or an iPad, especially an iPhone, would be pretty hard to let people do custom games and try to figure that out. So that would be my guess.
Sure.
Total speculation. Now, having said that, the thing about the ladder, the highest I've ever gotten to, I think, is rank 5. I generally tend to play in the mornings right before, waking up, having breakfast, before I go to work and things like that. It does feel grindy. It does feel like it's, a long system. And it does feel like Blizzard's, trying to have this fun game, but at the same time, it's got this pretty hardcore tournament scene. One thing about the grindiness that I feel like could be, so there are a couple ideas about how you could start to fix the ladder, I think, and the grindiness especially is, you don't know what you're getting into per game. So like in a tournament mode, one of the ways they kind of get rid of the RNG or they kind of throttle and control the randomness of the game is they give you multiple decks, you play multiple times, etc. Well, you don't want to kind of do that in the normal game. But if you're going to do the ladder, I think part of the ladder system probably should include, I get to pick one of 3 heroes before I go into the match. And by the way, I get to see, so you set up, a system where you pick 3 heroes. When you get matched up with somebody, you get to see what 3 heroes they've picked. Now, you have no idea who they're going to pick, but they're going to pick one of 3. And just by seeing, you can even see 3 warlocks. You can see, handlock. You don't know which one's the handlock, which one's the Zoolock, or which one's the demon lock, for example. But by knowing that they've got 3 locks set up as one of the decks they're going to pick, you now get to pick, from one of your 3 decks, and you get to guess, what you're going to go after. But you start to kind of control the RNG a little bit, and you still have a system that is not as random, but is not as complex. So I feel like the ideas around fixing the ladder have to be around that kind of stuff. If you look at poker's a long game. The randomness gets taken away from a long game, cash games basically. But if you look at poker in the tournament scene, a lot of the pros in poker talk about the tournament scene being filled with a lot of luck, because you have to get really lucky during the tournament, 1 or 2 times as you play hands. But poker's real game is in the cash game, in the long game. That's where people make their money. I kind of feel like as a card game, Hearthstone is going to have some of the similar problems in that regard. And one of the ways to get the long game better, which is the ladder, is to remove some of the randomness a little bit. And that would be seeing what your opponent has. So that's one idea. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Well, I think it's an interesting concept. I don't know if the way you described it would be the way that they would implement it, but I could see, I think we had addressed this at some point. Maybe I'm wrong, but Garrett or Joss, maybe you can remind me. I thought we talked at one point, what if you could ban one class? So you would never face that. And the problem I think we all came up with was everyone would ban Hunter or whatever. Everyone would just ban the top class, and then Hunters would just play against other Hunters, or it would get kind of weird.
We did.
So it's hard to say
we
exactly
talked about it
in
the context of because they do it with Battlegrounds in WoW. You can ban Alterac Valley, so you never have to play Alterac Valley. So so I think we did talk about that. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
it's
does
an
take
interesting
away.
idea. Yeah.
Well, that does take away from people's ability to make what they want. The idea I'm talking about would literally be you have your 9 decks, but you just basically set the 3 that you're going to use. You're going to go into the ladder with.
But what if I'm a ladder player and I only play 1 deck? What if I only know how to play Hunter, I only know how to play Rogue, or I only play Patron Warrior? Then I have to have 2 other classes as well. I don't see Blizzard implementing anything that would force people to play outside of their comfort.
That's a good point.
You're also punishing free-to-play players because they're not going to have as many cards.
Well,
that's
that's where you go fix casual.
Yeah. I think
casual.
there's so what you're saying though too makes me think that a tournament mode would have allowed stuff like this, because you could have gone in I don't like ladder, so I'll play tournaments, right? Mm-hmm. And that gives you that option. Then you go into a tournament and it's okay, I see your lineup similar to when you watch Strife Crow play Firebat, and they each know what the other 3 classes are, and then they can kind of pick whatever accordingly, and you can bring that element back in without having to mess with the kind of pure ladder experience of just playing against whatever. And that's one of the reasons why I did kind of want a tournament mode. Is I just wanted to go in and play competitively, and then have my results be by the end of the night, I know if I feel good or bad about my performance tonight, right? Not by the end of the season do I feel like I got to where I wanted to get. It's a little more, it's a pared down ladder to me, is kind of what tournaments would have been. And so I think that kind of works better there, and it's hard to do it. It's hard to apply that concept to just this current version.
That's what I mean by Blizzard trying to have its cake and eat it too. It's kind of the ladder area needs to be more competitive, and the casual needs to be truly casual yet still have some competitive aspects to it. So in the arena, maybe the arena is the one where it's the pro hangout. So you have these different modes, and it's not just you're paying. But Blizzard's kind of gotten themselves in a bind, I think, where they're trying to make all these different modes work for everything. And what they I don't know. I've been a long time Warcraft player. I've always thought that Blizzard should have done a more interesting job of making the kind of experiential, dungeon crawl raid style version, and then the PvP versions just completely split, but living in the same world. They always try to blend their worlds when they do this, and I feel like they're very successful at it. At the same time, it kind of cripples both experiences to some degree. So here, it feels like casual needs to be made casual, whether it's a ladder-ish kind of thing or more fun or better MMR or whatever. But the tournament ladder, the one that where people are actually using for the tournaments and the grindiness or to see how good you are for real, definitely needs to be a little bit more hardcore. So to your point, Jocelyn, I would say, yeah, you have to have 3 decks. If you don't want 3 decks, go play casual or something. That's what I would do if I was on the game design side of Blizzard. But,
if it's casual as it currently stands, though, I really disagree with that, because casual as it currently stands is
it's ladder light,
empty.
right?
It's completely empty.
Yeah.
There's
does
no
It's your testing grounds.
no, because there's no gamification to it. There's no reason to play it unless you're doing dailies.
Well,
I'm just wondering
so the reason to play it is dailies, but the other reason to play it is like I want to play a deck that I don't have to worry about losing with, and like we've talked with this on the show before, that I would like a true casual where there's no reward at all. So you don't get 10 gold for 3 wins, you don't get dailies done. There's literally no reason to play a good or bad. Like you just play whatever the hell you want, and then that's where people go to just do weird stuff because it's fun. And then you can have your semi-casual, which is called unranked, and then you can have ranked.
that makes sense.
So unranked is where you test the deck that you're not familiar with, but you want to play in a somewhat competitive setting, right?
Right. So the thing that pisses me off, by the way, playing in the current ladder system is the streakiness of it, and that's where the grindiness comes from. Is that you have to get on these massive streaks, and that comes from basically, I play a couple of different decks. When I get really kind of aggressive, I play the Patron warrior deck just because blowing somebody up like that really works. But as soon as I see a priest come on board, or as soon as I see somebody else, a deck I haven't seen before, you're sitting at rank 15, and suddenly they throw a Kel'Thas out on the table, and you're like, well, there just went all my streaks. And then you lose one, then you might lose another one, and you figure, like me, you play maybe 30, 45 minutes a day just before you're going to work. Those streaks stop me from getting down to 5 again, unless I really want to just grind it out, which I'm way too old for that. Anyway, so I'm just trying to think of the different ways that they could set that up, and to me, part of it is with knowing I could pick a deck. So if I got my Patron deck and I see somebody with a priest, I might decide to go after using my rogue or druid deck. I don't know. Anyway, just an idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think I love these Patron hangouts because this kind of discussion is because everyone's got an idea for what they think the game could do, and there's no like bad ideas. Every idea has like a pitfall to it, though. You know what I mean? And that's, I think, where Blizzard is kind of like you can't really like take the plunge into anything, because there's always if we separate if we have too many formats, suddenly queue times are longer in all the formats. If we do so if we add more than 9 deck slots, suddenly we get I don't know which deck to pick. I'm looking at 30 decks, and I don't know which one I want to play right now. Like there's all sorts of like weird little pitfalls in every idea, but our community seems to come up with some pretty good ones, and
Well, I just wanted to toss that out there, just and to say hi, and hopefully I'll see you there in a couple of weeks in San Francisco, Dills.
Yeah.
But some of you guys, I mean, Jocelyn and Garrett, take it seriously. The milkshake tournament. It's gonna work. And don't think of it as only
take it seriously, and the milkshake tournament. Do they really belong in the same
yes. I think that at some point, people are going to talk about who the number 1 milkshake player in the world is. And that's going to be serious.
And the point of it, by the way,
keep on dreaming.
Well, the point of it, by the way, is that you're supposed to make a deck that is supposed to mess with the other person as much as humanly possible while still being able to win. That's the skill part.
Oh, I know the concept of the milkshake deck. That's not what I'm missing.
Did you just call in and try and tell us what something that was developed on our own podcast means, sir? Did you just call into the guy that wrote the dictionary and tell them what a certain word means?
I think I did. Okay, there you go. So there you have it.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, look, the concept of the milkshake deck was come up with here, but it has been perfected by our community. I fully believe that.
Oh, dude,
everyone took it and ran with it, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's total death of the author, just all up in here. I mean,
there you go. Well, guys, keep up the good work. I really love the podcast. I've been listening to it since
thank you very much.
episode 1, I think.
Thanks, Andre,
so-
and thank you for working on Photoshop, you psycho.
Oh, yeah, that was ages ago. If you ever, you've got my Skype and email information. If you ever want any assistance with something, just let me know. I was kind of kidding about the $400, but
But only kind of. So it'll be
Only
like
kind
a
of, unless you're gonna pay it. Like,
well, no, what you got to do is you got to come out to San Francisco sometime, go to Folsom Street Foundry, and just buy me a beer. I'm getting
that sounds like a plan. That I can afford. I'll even get you
Now
the good
you're
stuff.
talking
Thanks again,
We
Andre.
can all get.
All right, guys, have a good one.
All right,
Thanks for
Andre.
taking my call.
All right, let's see if we can get Rackz in here again. He's been
Said he fixed it.
blowing it up, just blowing it up.
Hey.
Hey, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can actually hear you guys now.
Delightful.
fabulous.
Well, hello, Rackz. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. We're getting all kinds of new faces in here today. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I actually have been listening to you guys since the beginning. So
Nice.
Are you in a cafe right now, or is that like your kitchen?
that's my apartment.
Oh wow.
That's my
Your-
dog back there.
Your
yes, your dog.
apartment
Okay.
is swanky,
Now it's
sir.
making more sense. You have like one of those cool. That's the kitchen right there, right? You have one of those like cool like kind of bar things. separating
Yeah,
the
yeah.
kitchen out. Yeah, I love
There's
those.
a whole, it's just totally messy too. So I just kind of
Oh, yeah,
scooted
it's
the
a-
dishes
it's
out of the way of the
ridiculous.
camera so you guys couldn't see it. They're
I
like
feel like
all
I've,
right
I've always
behind
wanted one of those, and I've never lived in a place with one. You know, it's just such a cool place to hang out. Like
Yeah.
fridge is right there, living room's right there. Everyone just kind of chill.
I love
Did not
I love
expect to get on this stream and talk about my kitchen.
Sorry,
honestly.
I derailed this,
Really?
but I just yeah.
I
Didn't
love
see that going that way.
I really love Rackz because when he booted him out before because we couldn't get things working, he just continued to message this account with some hearts. He sent a heart. Then he said, "Do you need another heart?" Sends a heart. Bitches love hearts. And then he says, "Not implying you're a bitch. I'm just saying in general." Fact finding here. I love this.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
a delightful person, Rackz. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have to mention a couple things here. I actually friended Willie Dills a couple of weeks ago because whoever he was playing with on Heroes just totally creamed us. And like I recognized the name because of the podcast, and I friended him, and I was like, oh my god, we're so drunk, and you guys just face rolled us.
I remember this.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Were you playing with Gorath Stills or?
No, I think I was just playing with random people from the stream or something.
Oh, okay.
But so I've been playing with. There's been a few people from my stream who've been kind of become like regulars on my team. So we had a pretty good team, and I think I remember our comp was just much better, and we just had one of those games where it all just kind of came together. But I specifically remember the message after. You were like, "I'm with 4 of my buddies, and we're all super hammered," and I was like, "All right, well there you go."
Yeah, so we got. You guys probably are just better players. Actually, is the real problem there.
When I get hammered, it gets worse. You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the games where alcohol severely hampers your performance.
Yeah, for sure.
It's,
So
it's not great. It's not great. It's not as bad as StarCraft, which is borderline unplayable
No, StarCraft.
when
yeah.
you're drunk. But yeah.
So I also wanted to mention that about just in general, I ran a fireside tournament last week,
awesome.
and it went pretty well. And I was just wondering if you guys had any sort of like experience with doing the in-person tournaments yourself. I know you guys did the online one, but just kind of your experiences with that and that sort of thing. Pick your brains about it.
I just did one about 4 weeks ago, a fireside gathering tournament.
How did that go?
It went pretty well. We had 4 no-shows, but we had so many people show up that wanted to know if anyone had not shown up that we filled those gaps pretty quickly.
That's cool.
And we did everything on Challenge, which Jocelyn is what we all ended up using for the last Patron tournament.
Yes.
And honestly, if you're there in person, pen and paper is so much effing easier. It's not even funny. Just print
That's what we
a
ended
damn.
up. I just
just
had all
print out
this
a bracket.
stuff. Yeah, and then I was like, here's some freaking notebook paper and a pen.
Yeah, that's exactly what. If you are in person, use paper and pen.
Yeah.
It is
The thing, though, is
so
what
much faster.
Challenge does well is if you're trying to do something like a double elimination tournament with an odd number of people,
Yep.
it mixes and matches all the stuff for you, and that's, I think, where it gets easier to use that. But I do agree that there's just a lot of stuff to put in, and you're just like, why do I have to put this in? And this and this and this?
It is and I'm not trying to trash on challenge at all. It's really good. It's fantastic. It's a wonderful tool, and they have some really nice things built in. It's great if you want to if you set everything up perfectly from the get-go, and you just say go, you're all on your own, enter your own damn results. It's great. But since we had 4 no-shows but they checked in online, but they didn't show up, I had never experienced having to remove someone and then add someone else for the first time, so I was having to learn on my feet. And you know what? It would have been 10,000 times easier if I had just started with a printed out bracket to begin with. It's like, alrighty, you here?
You just cross
Right
their
now.
Or
name.
if I
Yeah.
answered my damn phone.
Yeah, or if I was like, hey, Jocelyn the day before was like, if you have any issues, Garrett, seriously, I ran into every possible issue with challenge you could have when we ran to last, so just text me. And I'm texting Jocelyn like, hey, so this and that's going, and just nothing. I'm like,
Nothing. Slept
So-
right through it.
so I'm talking to my friend Amy, who's helping me run it. I'm like, let's just print a bracket. We'll just write them in. F it. I don't care. So that was fun.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and then one other thing that I wanted to mention, and I guess people can plug things here. That's all right.
It is very much allowed.
Okay. So, I don't have a stream, so I'm not plugging my stream, but I'm helping out somebody else's stream, so I wanted to plug theirs because it's a pretty new stream, and I just wanted to kind of let everybody know she does play Hearthstone, but it's fun to watch her play because she's newer in it, so it's she's been playing for a couple months now as opposed to almost 2 years. I don't even remember how long this game's
Almost.
been out.
It's been a
So,
while. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were closed beta, it's been a while.
It's
but actually, she was one of the people on the team when you totally rolled face, Will. So, but anyways, her Twitch channel is Zayleth. So I'll just type it in here. It's ZEYLETH. Spelling is hard. So, so yeah, if you guys want to check her out, she's actually gonna start up around 7:30. So maybe even when this is over, I can poach all your viewers.
Hell yeah.
But, and then really, I just wanted to say that you guys are doing a really awesome job, and I enjoy the show, and I'm gonna probably keep listening. I might call in again too now.
Oh,
Now that I got my mic figured out, my Skype wanted my mic to be my speakers for some reason. So
Oh, okay.
Well, why
Alright.
wouldn't you talk into your speakers? I mean, isn't that how it normally works?
yeah. So, but anyways,
I mean,
I won't.
Speakers are just mics in reverse. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And Skype is
What-
all backwards, so it makes perfect sense.
What I was actually worried about was whenever I learned that, I was worried that you guys were just getting assaulted with some sort of weird,
Oh, like some sort of weird
constant
feedback loop.
feedback. And I was like,
No.
yeah, I've single-handedly ruined this entire recording.
No, so
that's
far,
pretty cool.
man, you win the best sounding mic so far award for
Actually,
this
yeah.
episode.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no clicking. There's nobody doing dishes. You're doing
Yeah.
pretty well, man.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
this
one
is
coughing like
actually-
they just took a really bad hit off of something semi-illegal. That's
Yeah.
great.
I have one of these. Is showing your mic on the stream like a cool thing? Because it seems like everybody was.
It could be.
Go
I don't know.
go
Depends
for
on
it,
what the mic is.
man. Oh, what?
Oh, you got the
Ah.
Yeti. Yeah.
It's a Yeti. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the same
Nice.
with mine.
No, the Yetis are good. For someone who doesn't know a lot about mics or something, I would always just tell them just get a Yeti because it's just good and it's
Yeah.
easy and it's
You
like
don't-
USB and because if you're trying to buy a quality mic that's not that expensive, it's really difficult. It's actually mics is its own science.
This thing was such a
went to school for
major
this.
pain in the ass to get to function the way I wanted it
Right?
to when I finally made
Yeah.
the jump to an XLR microphone with a mixer.
Yours
Yeah.
looks like an X-ray machine.
Well,
Worried it's giving you mouth cancer. right
oddly
now.
enough, it is also an X-ray machine,
Yeah,
which is great. It's,
Garrett,
But
you
no,
got
you're-
your package.
Garrett's mic is a popular podcasting mic, but I think the Yeti is maybe that's the number one streamer mic I think out there because it's just plug and go and it's good and it works.
Yeah.
So for anybody who doesn't know what mic to get, the Yeti's a good one, man.
Yeah,
I
I'm actually just borrowing this from Zayleth, so it's actually her mic. So
Oh,
I
okay.
can't.
Sounds very clean.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So
It's a
that's
nice
good
setup.
to know.
Yeah. It's got multiple settings. You can have cardioid, you can have multi-directional, you can have bi-directional, you can do all sorts of stuff with it. And it's
Yeah,
got like
I don't know what you just
headphone
said.
plug-in for it. Yeah.
I,
went to
uh,
school
There's
for this
all
stuff,
I
so-
would love to know what these little icons on the back mean. I probably could Google it, but I just
You want the one that looks like a little upside-down heart. That's the one you want to use.
Oh, I
That's
thought
the-
it was the
I'm
Pac-Man.
I thought that's the one I needed. So
Yeah,
that's-
the upside-down heart is the one you want to use. They call it cardioid because it looks like a heart.
No,
It's a symbol.
there you go.
I did not put that together in my head. Yeah. That's,
And omnidirectional means all directions, right? Unidirectional means one. Bidirectional means two.
Let me write this down. One sec.
You will be quizzed tomorrow.
Slow down. So,
It's a lot of information.
okay. Well, appreciate it. I won't take somebody else's time here, but keep up the good work.
Thanks for calling in,
thanks for
man.
the
And
call.
thanks for
Yeah,
supporting the
thanks for
show.
calling.
Take it easy.
See ya. I bought this mic solely because I asked somebody, hey, what is the mic that Tom Merritt uses? Because it looks pretty and he sounds good. Well, it's this.
Yeah.
All right, I'm buying this.
Yep.
That was my
Looks pretty.
that was my shopping experience. I was like, that looks cool and I know it sounds good. So,
It's a damn good mic. And the fact that it comes with its own little popper stopper, just kind of, and it's already kind of built in and
doesn't
and set to
always,
where.
but there's a lot of packages you can find with it.
I see. So
Yeah.
you and Tom both just got the popper
Yep.
stopper package.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
see.
I bought it from Broadcast Supply Worldwide, BSW, I think. They always have a PR40 package that comes with
But
the
it-
matching pop filter.
It fits on then the fact that it fits on right there, and it kind of tells you like this is where you should talk it.
Well, exactly, because it's incredibly directional. If I move away from it even
Yeah.
a little bit, it's
Yeah.
a huge difference.
Which is good though for podcasting because you're not picking up a bunch of background noise.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. Now we're going to try and add Mark on, Mark was our guinea pig at the beginning of the show.
good.
Hey, Mark.
What's up?
Not much.
we
How you
do hear
doing?
now.
Can you guys hear me now?
We can.
Yes.
You're a little loud, but that's fine.
Sorry. Yeah, so I use Ableton Live and it like reroutes all your microphones and stuff like that. Like I use a mixer,
yes.
XLR, and stuff like that. And I just wanted to go simple, and it didn't work because I tried to make it too simple.
I know that program, and there's nothing simple on that program at all.
No, there's not. I'm actually trying to be a trainer for that, and it's incredibly difficult.
Yeah, but it's very powerful piece of software as well. So
Yeah.
ups and downs.
It's very expensive too.
Yes.
All right, so I called to talk about Rodan and the fact that he doesn't get enough respect for being probably the best young broadcaster I've heard ever. I love sports talk radio, and I hated what Colin Cowherd said on his show about esports. He just sounded like an old man, just trashing it. And I've been listening to Team League all week, like last week, and it just has amazing matches. And I think Rodan's just awesome. Like once Reckful left, that just stream became amazing, and it was awesome to listen to. So I'm pretty upset. Respect.
I'm right there with you, man. And Frodan is without a doubt my favorite Hearthstone caster right now. He's just so good at what he does. He's very professionally, has a great voice, doesn't stutter.
I think though, and I think you're kind of making this point as well that he's not just like one of the best Hearthstone casters. He's just like one of the best guys on a mic doing whatever it is that a guy on a mic is doing right now. Because, like you said, you like sports broadcasting as well. I went to school for broadcasting and radio in particular. I was on the audio, so audio recording and radio was my specialty. So we studied a lot of this. And Frodan, when I talked to him and we had him on the show and we asked him questions, I asked him about his training, and he said,
No training.
Yeah. So to me, that was incredibly, I was impressed because the way he sounds, like you said, Garrett, no stuttering. He doesn't say the word like or all the time,
Well,
Exactly.
he's got that classic radio voice too. Like if you just listen to the episodes, like I do sometimes, I listen to them at work and I can't have it, up on my screen.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't picture Frodan's face with Frodan. Frodan has like the classic, like 1960s male radio voice, and it's perfect. He doesn't stutter over anything. It's completely relatable. It really is amazing. When I turned on to watch Team League this last week, they had Life Coach versus Tipper. It was like a crazy match with Patron Warriors, and just listening to him talk about it was just amazing. And I'm not that great at Hearthstone, but I understood everything he said down to like he keeps you like interested in what's going on, even though you might not completely understand. You're not that in depth.
Yeah,
I used
and I
to
think
do-
a lot of people don't understand that there are, like, when you watch someone on TV, it's actually really difficult to do what people do, and you don't notice it because we're so used to it at this point. But like, do you guys know the guy who does he does the show about money, and it's like he's always like freaking out and buy.
Oh, the Mad Money show.
And he's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
made fun of for a lot. Yeah. So he presents himself as some sort of a financial guru, right, who knows a lot about the industry.
Mm-hmm.
But really what he is he's just a face and a broadcaster. Because if you pay attention to him while he's talking, and we just don't notice it as consumers of these kind of products because we're so used to this now. But he never says the word like, he never says he never stumbles over anything. So he gets presented as one thing, but really what he is someone who studied broadcasting and is now incredibly polished at it, and we just don't see it. Well, Frodan suddenly just like has that somehow, and he's just doing Hearthstone and esports. So I think the guy's got a big future just in he'll at some point he'll get a little older and he'll be hired for all kinds of stuff.
I mean, I couldn't believe when he had because it's the perfect setup when he has the guest on and then the caster with him. When it had him and Brian Kibler on, and just listening to him talk about, I can't wait till he has like Trump or something on. It's the perfect mix of like the person that's not the expert and the expert. So, I mean, I think you're 100% when you say that he's going to get hired by someone big eventually. I mean, just, listening to, all being a gamer and, like, going for it and that kind of thing, like, he's really going to come out on top out of all of this. I think whether it's Hearthstone or games, like, he's going to be the big guy.
No, I believe that too, yeah. He doesn't get talked about very much because he is just so good at it, and we're so used to it. As people who consume products, like we watch news, we watch any television we watch, not everybody sees what it actually takes to get there. And I saw a lot of this, and now because of the whole podcast thing and streaming and all this stuff, there's a lot of people doing it who are just not naturally good at it, and they're putting themselves in front of people, and now you can notice the difference. But for the longest time, you only notice it when it's bad, right? And you don't notice it when it's like perfect and impeccable, and that's what Frodan really does.
Yeah, and it's a good thing you called in and you brought it up, Mark, because it's almost like we give way more time and effort spent talking about the negatives. Like we're guilty of it on the show. We spent a good 20 minutes talking about how terrible the Reckful casting was, and we didn't spend equal amount of time talking about how good Frodan's casting was by comparison. Now we did bring it up, but
we did mention it, but
we didn't give it as strong of a spotlight.
I think Reckful kind of tanked it too.
Oh, he totally
did. That's what made it suck, like the whole thing, the whole product. But after that, I'm sorry, go on.
No. That was I made my point. No, you were absolutely right. No, Reckful definitely. It was so bad it was worthy of that time. But yeah.
But like I could see Frodan being like a Bob Costas one day. You know what I mean? Like the guy who just gets hired for everything. He definitely has that talent. And it's just, right now, esports and, the gaming stuff isn't really accepted as and like you were mentioning the guy who's just railroading as if it's the stupidest thing. And if they ever ask me to cover this, I'll quit and all that crap.
Well, no one wants him to cover it.
That's going to change as those people die.
You know what I mean? Like, that show all the time, and I love that show, and I think that guy in particular is really good at like adapting to the times and being the person that's like, hey, you got to get on top of it. And just he came out as such an old man, and I think like the younger community in general really railed him. They did a pretty good job of giving it to him about it, but like that's what I think. I'm surprised he, as someone I respect in like journalism and broadcasting, did not recognize like someone like Frodan. Like that's the potential you got to see here, because games change and the community changes, by decades and stuff. Like I hope Hearthstone stays around forever. I love this game. I'm so happy I don't have to dig through my millions of Magic cards anymore. Like I don't have to worry about that crap anymore.
Good point.
Like, oh my God, so many friends, so many epic decks. I just don't have to worry about it anymore. It's great. But that's the thing that I think is going to stick out of this, and that's like the personalities. Like if you guys did different stuff, I know Garrett does other podcasts and Jocelyn and Dills. I actually heard you first on Instance. Mm-hmm. So like it's really amazing. I think the personalities is really what sticks, and that didn't get recognized really upset me.
Yeah, and I don't mean to say the dying thing like we hope these people die. I just mean that like times change. Like Scott talks about this a lot. When he was a kid, video games were a super fringe thing. The guy who had like the biggest Pac-Man score was like a super weirdo to everybody else. But you know, he was well known within this tiny niche, right? But we're gonna get to the point where this is just turn on ESPN. They're gonna be talking about Dota 5 or whatever it is, and that's gonna happen at some point, right? It's just we're not there yet.
Level 200 in Warcraft.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it will happen eventually because the world changes, but the kids, like we grew, you know, our generation now, and I'm at the top end of that generation, is grown up with this. And then like the people younger than me and whatever are going to like not know a world where this doesn't exist.
I mean, I find it honestly impressive that this is even still a conversation that is had. I mean, look at last week. Look at San Diego Comic-Con. Look at just the pounds, the piles of money that are thrown at that event in the name of nerd culture. And then a month before that, look at E3. We're a massive economy. We are a thriving, massive money-making market. And I'm surprised that these dinosaurs like cowherds still exist.
Well, they do though, because they came before, and it's threatening to them that somebody else might move into their space. Right?
I'm sure the T-Rex was complaining about the asteroid that was coming down to kick his ass.
The T-Rex was complaining about Indomitable Rex, right? So he was like, okay, come on. They let him out, then what did he do? He went right after him.
One last comment. That movie was amazing. And I thought it was going to suck because I thought it was just a new Jurassic Park was going to be overdone. It was perfect. Like, it followed the same timeline. And
I was right there with you. I thought it was going to suck.
Oh.
And then it was actually really
I
good.
had such a good time with it too. I mean, it's a dumb movie. It's definitely not. It's definitely not as good as the first.
It does what it was supposed to do, though. Like,
it's
but
all
yeah.
about expectations.
like I loved how Chris Pratt has to live in like a little camper with he fixes his Triumph all day. That's what he does.
But he drives the Triumph through the jungle? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Riding your motorcycle with your raptor buddies is about the most badass thing you can ever do in life. So,
and driving like a street bike through any kind of like grassy area, like I don't know. No.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Mark, because I haven't heard anyone else bring that up, and I remember watching it just like this wouldn't just no.
It's because most people, and I will speak for most people watching that movie went, "Oh, motorcycle." It's a motorcycle.
No, Jocelyn.
Triumph. It's a very specifically super cool motorcycle. If he had
whatever you say,
if he had a ninja, and then he was like fixing that up, we'd be like, "Oh God damn it, no!"
See, most people just looked at that and went, "All right, motorcycle in the jungle, rock on."
I know nothing about motorcycles. I don't know what model of motorcycle that was. I do know it was not a damn tank or a four-wheeler, so I know that was not happening.
Or even a dirt bike, like that thing is going down.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you don't have 4 fat tires on the ground, that is not happening.
In the dark.
No, he's just that good, man. That's the thing.
It's Chris Pratt. Like it was.
So good. No, I had an absolute blast with that movie. There's a part, without getting too spoiler, there's a part in the middle where some seriously old school shit starts happening, and I'm watching this being like, man, they are just pandering. They're trying so hard for the fan service. But I'm still welling up and feeling like I'm 5 years old while it's happening. It worked.
Exactly.
It totally worked. I'm just like, oh, I'm 5 years old and like just learning to read for the first time all over again. This is just amazing.
Barry Von Awesome's comment is pretty cool, I think, in the chat. I like to think that Joss went, "Oh, motorcycle," out loud in the theater. Barry, if you listen to our last episode, which he said, "I have a unicorn on my shirt. I have a unicorn on my shirt." That is definitely what happened when she was watching this.
Oh my God. Jocelyn,
I can't even remember now what the context of that comment was.
We were talking about the unicorn.
We were talking about unicorns, and you realized that you had a unicorn on your shirt.
In the Hearthstone art from the tease about the new content. And you go, "Oh, right. I have a unicorn on my shirt." And
yes.
Like alcohol.
You were incredibly excited.
Yeah, it was great. Mark, man.
Exciting moment. It kind of made my week. Leave me alone.
Mark, this was really fun. Thank you for calling in and bringing a smile to our faces.
Yeah, we're glad we could get you in here, man.
Thank you. I listen to you guys every week, so it's great. Keep it up.
Thanks again, man, and thank you for supporting the show. I think that's gonna do it. We are over an hour. Man,
I gotta go get my Heroes of the Pants on here.
I was worried that with such a short notice, folks wouldn't be calling in, and it's just banana town on my monitor right now.
Poor people who didn't get to call in. Well,
Aw.
we'll be back.
Yeah, we will be back. I've got to go do Into the Nexus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
We're all going to run off and play Heroes now.
yeah. Well, I'm going to talk
Not me
about it.
playing Smite birthday stream. Yay!
Woo! I haven't played
There
that
you go.
game since it was in beta.
You're missing out. You're missing out.
It's fun, but the Heroes is my jam. Man, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Nothing wrong with Smite. It's cool. It's unique.
Mm-hmm. Gods
The
and stuff.
the character I like playing the most in that game is practically nude. So
Most of them are. You're gonna have to narrow it down.
the Egyptian archer chick.
Oh, Neith.
Yeah, she's pretty much nude, like really
Yeah,
nude.
you haven't even seen half her new skins, dude. There's a lot of skin.
More skin than okay,
More
whatever.
skin.
Not to be confused with foreskin. More skin.
Oh,
Ew.
Yeah, made that joke.
Also
Had
not
to.
to be confused with For Sin.
for
which
sin.
is-
Yeah, totally different.
Yeah. How has no one made that mistake while casting forcing?
Oh,
games?
it happens. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's Twitch chat's all over that.
Well, I mean, Twitch chat, yeah, but
Yeah, but
I mean, it's because Frodan's too good at what he does. That's what it. That's
Yeah,
why.
exactly.
That's why it hasn't
Yeah.
happened.
Never makes a mistake.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody go watch Jocelyn's stream.
Yep. Everyone ignore this one because I'm
Or
terrible.
if you don't watch it, you can stick around and watch ITN. They're all good options.
It's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's all
And
good.
then, or if you hate both of those options, in about an hour and a half, I'll be playing with Scott Johnson. I think Ro's going to cast our games again.
oh,
Nice.
cool.
So there's just too much to do tonight, you guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're screwing with everybody. We're like, we're going to give you 5 choices, and then we're going to be mad if you don't pick ours.
Yep. Just run multi-twitch. Done.
There you go. Yeah, multi-Twitch. That's the way to do it.
Awesome, guys.
All right,
Well,
guys.
as always, great show. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you, patrons. This episode wouldn't be here without you guys, so we really appreciate you for supporting the show. I'm not going to do a big, long outro as usual because this is a special episode, so have a good one. We'll see you. Well, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks because I'll be out of town. Dills, you'll be out of town. But next week, Jocelyn and Karma are holding down the fort.
Damn straight.
And
Girls' night.
until then, job's done.
Job's done.
Job's done.
Yes!
And I'm going to come back in here just for a second because, Jocelyn, wasn't there something we forgot to mention last night? Was it Nerdtacular?
Yes, it was. Did we mention that on stream?
Not during the Prime show yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, then you should probably tell everyone what's super awesome that's happening in Nerdtacular.
Okay, so the second day of Nerdtacular, we're doing a live Anger Chicken, which everyone knew.
Hype.
Some people may have already known that Patrick Beja is going to be one of our guests, so more hype. What some people sadly might not know is, Dills, you can't make it this year.
Yeah, I'm not going to be at Nerdtacular at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Sad face.
So
Which there's a live instance too for the first time ever, and I
Yep.
won't be on that either.
Yeah.
So totally sucks.
So sadly, and at the same time, kind of cool, your shoes are so large and need to be filled by 2 people. So we're also bringing in Justin Robert Young to run defense for Patrick Beja, so that they can come together to form a nerd archon to fill the gap left
The
behind.
Dills void.
The Dills void.
Awesome.
Fill the Dills void.
You know what I want you to do with those guys? I want you
Just
to
drink and not talk about Hearthstone. Talk about whatever happens to come out of our
No, no,
mouths.
no. I want you to quiz them on like good card or bad card, because
Ooh.
those guys are both like what I would call still kind of like Patrick's been playing the game.
Say
for a long
bad.
time,
You can say
obviously.
bad at the game. It's okay.
Justin's
Dills.
new. No, I'm just gonna say like newer to the game itself, and I just want to hear their takes because I'm gonna listen to this episode, right? So this is just I'm like a caller now. I'm like I got a suggestion, but good card or bad card, and just give them some cards and see what
We
their
could
thing
have
is,
little
and then you
things
can
to give the audience, like
Yeah.
just one that says good and one
And
that
you
says
could
bad, and they can
discuss.
hold them up, and then
It
Yeah.
could be kind of fun, yeah. And you could discuss why it's a good or bad card afterwards. I think it would be kind of interesting because I've talked to Justin about Hearthstone a lot. He's really into the game. I don't think he's put a lot of he's a busy guy. I don't think he's put like a ton of time into learning all the ins and outs. And I think Patrick has just kind of always played from he's just kind of the guy who like that's how he plays games. He just kind of like goes in and just does whatever and figures it out, So I'd be interested to hear their takes and then have you guys school them on why it's good or bad.
Can we ask about eye for an eye, please?
Yes.
Obviously.
You have to put in like some of the staple angry chicken.
Crackle's got to be there. Eye for an eye's got to be there. The angry chicken's got to be there.
Goldshire Footman.
Goldshire Footman. Yeah, all of our most hated cards. The chicken token, which apparently had art commissioned to be angry because of our show, which makes me really happy.
Yes, exactly.
So
this would make me happy. So
sweet.
This will be like how I get to kind of be there. I have a suggestion. There you go.
Awesome.
Great suggestion.
Well, with that all in mind, job is actually done.
Job's actually done.
Job's actually done.
Actually, yes.
I was thinking, I'm like, I hope he doesn't. I hope he says actually yes. Oh, he did.
I'm right there with you.